What has happened to our Bethlehem? We spring from a proud race of God-fearing people who wandered the desert across thousands of miles for 40 years, persecuted and enslaved, tortured and killed, expelled from land upon land until finally, stumbling here, and with our sweat in our hands, we built this city, the birthplace of King David, conqueror of Canaan, father of Solomon, Bethlehem! Bethlehem, the city of bread! I said bread, not blood, which is what you're slowly draining from me.
Callista, me! Calm yourself!
I don't want to calm myself. I'm on a roll. Bethlehem, founded on a love of law and art, by which we celebrate our faith in the Lord, as well as the love of her reverence of peace and law. Then we make a grand discovery beneath our feet, and rich men came with bold ideas, and they founded a company which would define this town for generations, the Bethlehem Shale Company. Shale was sent all over the known world for generations, used in making houses and bridges and mighty fortresses.
And it's used in making plastic.
Yes, plastic, for making saran wrap and throwaway bottles. Bethlehem is inhabited by a hard-working people who love their jobs, honor their ancestors, and save their shekels to make a better life for their children and their children's children. Not so the kids could grow up to be cocktail waitresses and croupiers.
Callista, me! The Romans!
Yes, the Romans. The latest in a long line of oppressors. First the Assyrians, then the Babylonians, the Persians, the Macedonians, the Maccabees.
The Crusaders?
They're later, don't rush me. After a generation of oppression, we had had enough. We cast the infidels from our lands, and our little town grew and prospered and became a mecca for the lovers of history and art. First came the pilgrims, poor but devout and respectful of our tradition. Then came the school groups, little kids with sticky hands and money for trinkets and sweets. Then, their wallets crammed with cash. Then came the
Crusaders?
Tourists! Tens of thousands of tourists. Hotel reservations, walk-up business, weekends line up around the blocks. Remember that? Oh, people would come here after the Friday night services, before the camel races, dance in the hora, sing karaoke, wet toga contests. Wine flowed till dawn, and our cash registers rang us a merry tune. But then, the bloodiest of the scourges, the most evil pestilence ever to afflict our land.
The Crusaders?
Developers. Our cash registers rang just a little too loudly. Developers have very good ears. They heard that singing all the way across the Mediterranean. They marched on our shores like a conquering triathlon. They entered our gates, made bold that the price of shale has fallen.
Well, a lot of people were out of work because the price of shale had fallen.
How far could it have fallen? It's shale! They entered our gates, stirred at the prospect of plundering what we had wrought with generations of our own blood and sweat. And they took a look around and they said, oh, we want this place. But they couldn't just take it. Not without the aid and comfort of our elected officials. Oh, they took them on junkets. Venice, Rome, Monte Carlo. Took them to the floor shows, the orgies, the human sacrifices, the feeding of virgins to crocodiles. Celine Dion!
You always told me you'd take me to see that.
Celine Dion?
No, the virgins to the crocodiles.
And that's when things changed.
Then the Romans. Oh.
They needed money for their little civil wars. We weren't too far away. A couple of hours on a galley ride, a few more hours on slave-drawn litters. They partnered with our King Harry and his developers. And up, almost overnight, up in our town came the casino.
Oh.
Bah! Said it would create jobs. The people who live in Bethlehem can't afford to work in a casino. And the people who work in a casino can't afford to live in Bethlehem. And here we are, slaves once more.
Come on, Colostomy, let's go to bed. The same problems will be here to lament in the morning.